costume is quite intimidating. And so when she puts on these shoes and puts on her costume, I swear this girl is over 6 feet tall and she towers over everyone. And she just has this really intimidating presence. And so even if you weren't thinking, oh, Ellie can be so mean, just her sheer presence, you're like, oh man, that sea witch, she is scary.
So is she actually walking around, or is she on a platform?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she walks.
Okay. So you've got the tentacles and
she's got awesome. Many a tentacle.
Now, do we have Flotsam and Jetsam?
We do, cool. And we have a few characters who really needed to move more like sea creatures, and so we've stuck them on some wheels. And Flotsam and Jetsam have been rollerblading for 3 months.
Oh yeah,
and so they just zip everywhere on stage.
That's cool. So this is based on the Disney.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's Disney's The Little Mermaid.
Okay. Because there's a children's story.
Yes,
that was loosely.
Based on the Hans Christian Andersen story, but it is very much Disney. You're going to have all those recognizable characters, all the recognizable songs, plus some extras.
Okay, cool. What else? Then you've got the dad, King Triton.
Yes, so let's talk about King Triton. So we have something kind of special worked up because our King Triton is not being portrayed or being played by a student. Dwayne Nance, who is our PE teacher and one of our football coaches, has stepped into that role, and he is our King Triton.
So originally, when you were going to do it in 2020, his brother, Superintendent Nance, was going to be this role, and then now he's doing the role.
Right.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know they were
brothers.
Yeah. Oh, what? Yes. So they're brothers, and back in 2020,
true confessions here.
Okay.
Mr. Nance Blackbeard.
I feel like everyone knew that, Abby.
Yeah.
I don't know.
His daughter was Ariel, so we were going to have an actual father-daughter combo in 2020, but that wasn't going to work out for us this time. But Dwayne Nance, Redbeard, his daughter Bridget is in elementary school, and she's one of our elementary theater girls. So it really just kind of was a nice fit for that. He's getting to do something special with his daughter, but he has really enjoyed himself. Every time I talk to him about it, he talks about how much fun he's having, but also about how this is the hardest thing that he's ever done.
Yeah, this is probably the first time he's done anything.
It's the first time he's been on stage. He's never done anything like it before. And when I say that he has put his entire self into this, he really has. If you happen to see him walking down the hallway at any given moment, he is practicing his lines. When he's at rehearsal, if he is not on stage, he's practicing his song, he's practicing his lines. He is in the zone all the time. He's very excited. When
I stopped in Saturday, the first thing I saw, he was out right there as you come in the door singing, and I'm like, hey, I know what character you are. But he was totally like, it was awesome.
Very serious.
You'll just you'll be locked into what's on stage, and you'll just hear from the corner of the room, I'm King Triton. And then you're like, okay, he's over there in his own little world.
That is exactly true. But it's been really fun. It's been a little hard for me to have to direct my peer for the first time. I've never directed adults. I've only directed my students, and that feels much more natural.
You don't count Keith in there?
Well, I mean,
I'm just joking. No.
I guess I do, but I don't know, because the show got cut short. There was so much that we didn't get to do, and we've gotten into the thick of it, and it's different to have that teacher student role.
Sure.
That feels really natural all the time, but to have somebody who's your colleague that you are directing, it's a different feel, but it's been fun.
When did you start the auditions and getting this all ready?
We auditioned before Christmas. Yeah.
Did you know, was it a hard process, or did you know when the girl, everybody showed up, that these are the parts?
It's hard and it's easy at the same time. It has gotten harder every year because we have such a wonderful talent pool. And in your mind, you can see it going a lot of different ways. So we started having callbacks, which I think the kids don't love, but I love because we'll have initial auditions and everybody auditions, and then we'll kind of do some mock casts in our head, and then we'll have the kids come back and rehearse with each other so we can get a feel for the chemistry between the actors and just get a little more insight before we make a final decision. So in some ways it's gotten harder, but in other ways it's gotten easier since we have started the callback process.
As a teacher, knowing the student population, and you've got this in mind that you're going to do Little Mermaid, do you in your mind know who you would like to play the different parts?
We always kind of guess, but sometimes kids walk into an audition and they surprise you. So you go into it kind of with some thoughts in your head, but there's not been a show where I haven't had a kid walk in and all three of us directors go, "Did you know that kid could do that?" So you think you have some thoughts in your head, but then the kids really show you what they can do, and it changes things.
Yeah.
So you're talking about talent pool, and I don't want to make this sad because these two
Oh my goodness.
wonderful young ladies, I know them both, and they're both amazing young ladies. So we'll start with Ellie. So this being, what has this last high school musical, what has this experience meant to you, and what have you taken away from it?
I mean, it's kind of bittersweet because like in 2020 I was in this show and I was one of the eels, so it's kind of like I was a little kid and now like I'm Ursula in my senior show, which is kind of cool. And like it's just, I think it's a fun last show for like me and my friends. All the seniors this year, we're all really close, so it's nice to have that tight-knit group of about like 8 to 10 people that are there with nine seniors. And it's just nice to have like your best friends on stage with you experiencing your last show. I mean, we've kind of adopted some of the younger ones into our group, like Izzy Guthrie. We love her. She's a sophomore and we're gonna miss her so much. We just love Izzy. She's just a little sweetheart. But it's nice. It's gonna be sad. I don't think it's really hit us. Yeah, definitely not.
Oh, that last show,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Sunday it'd be a mess.
Yeah. Okay, Abby. So what's your perspectives on?
It's been fun. I think this has been a really good last show because I felt like a lot of my other shows I wasn't like with Ellie or like with Avon or whatever, like my closest friends. I wasn't like leads with them, but this time I have such a tight relationship with like all of the people that I interact with. So it's a lot easier for me, and I think it's a lot more fun because I get to interact with people that I like a lot.
Well, there's that natural chemistry when you're up there with your friends or with people that you have a past with, people that you understand each other. And as a director, even that's like something that you look for, is who's going to work well together.
Yeah, the chemistry is a big thing. Well, I mean, going back to something not completely different, but Back to the Future, they had started that with Eric Stoltz as Marty McFly and then switched to Michael J. Fox, and then you can't think of anybody else doing that,
Right.
Yeah. So give us the times.
Okay,
that this will be this weekend.
We open on Friday evening at 7:30.
Okay.
And our doors open 30 minutes before the show. So come on out at 7. Please come to door number 17. It's in the back of the building. And tickets are $10. We only sell tickets at the door. So make sure you get there. And then we repeat it again, same time, 7:30 on Saturday. And then we have our final performance on Sunday afternoon at 3.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, is there any cast changes or anything between the shows, or is everything?
No,
same?
we have one cast.
Okay,
It's the
okay.
same
I didn't know if
all
you-
performances. So yeah, you'll see Ariel as Abby. Abby's going to be Ariel
Okay,
every night,
okay.
and Ellie's going to be Ursula, and straight on down the line.
Now you mentioned you had some younger students.
We do.
Who are they?
They are
Are they-
sea creatures
Okay.
and birds and turtles, and just really filling out this whole menagerie of animals that are in the Little Mermaid. I don't think people always think about the creatures that are in the Little Mermaid, but they really make the show.
Now is that something that you added, or is that?
Oh
is
no,
that
no,
part
no,
of the?
no.
Is that
That's
part of
it.
the
We've got Under the Sea. We've got
okay,
Kiss the
yeah,
Girl. All of those
Yeah.
have just
frogs?
Oh yeah, have all these creatures that are a part of the presentation. So.
It's funny to go through the. It's not. I don't know if it's really a ride, but at Disney, I guess there was a in Epcot. There's a ride
shell
that you.
Oh,
that
where
you-
you're in the
that
shell
you-
and you go through
Yeah.
Ariel's grotto.
But,
Oh yeah.
but at Magic Kingdom, you go through,
Mhm.
you walk through, and you see more. You see things that you might have
Oh,
missed.
yeah.
I think from
Oh, yeah.
the picture.
Oh yeah.
Now, were you the live action version that they did a few years ago? Were you a fan of that as compared to the animated, or what do you think about that?
Either one is fine. I really like the original
Yeah.
animation that came out in I don't know. I want to say
92, maybe.
maybe I was like
maybe before that.
5. So I really remember it, and I remember just watching it all the time, wearing the VHS out when I was a kid. So that one's my favorite because of the nostalgia.
It's just funny for the old guys in the room. She's like, I was like 5, and we're like,
Yeah,
oh,
that movie was
okay.
for me.
We were
Little
driving-
5-year-old
we were
girl, I was
driving, you know.
excited.
It's okay.
1980.
Me and Abby looked at each other and we're like, we weren't even born.
No, no, you were not.
1989 for those.
89.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So I was 2.
Oh,
I was
gosh.
2.
Yeah.
I remember we took our kids to see it, and yeah, it was. I mean, that for me, that was one of the first newer Disney movies I'd seen. I grew up with like Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo and
Okay.
the
Yeah.
Black Cauldron and different things. And then there was like a lull for a long time. It seemed
Yeah,
like,
I
and then
think that,
these
like
new
the
ones
Disney
came
Disney
back.
had a dark age for a while,
Yeah.
like where they
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
have a lot of stuff coming out.
But that was for even for a dad, that was pretty entertaining. And I still we would watch it if it was, now you got Disney Plus where you can watch all that stuff. And
Oh yes.
yeah, it's very entertaining. So you've got, was Sebastian a hard one to cast?
That was definitely something that we had callbacks for that. But our Brooks Deaton is our Sebastian, and when he came back for his callback, it became very clear that he was for sure Sebastian. And I'm really excited for people to see his performance because he is a hoot. And we have pushed that poor kid so hard. He's very athletic, and we have used that to our advantage. He can flip, and he runs everywhere, and he has some gymnastics, aerobatics that he does that is really it's really cool to see.
And I forgot one of the main characters, Eric.
Oh yes, Prince Eric. That is a newbie. Prince Eric is Malachi Wallbaker. He just started going to our school this year, and this is his first major role in a show. He's been in some shows before at his past school, but as far as a main role, this is his first time. So we really brought him out of his shell quite a bit too, pushing him. Prince Eric has a lot of singing in the musical. If you watch the cartoon, I don't think
he sings.
I don't think Eric sings at all in the cartoon, but in the musical, he sings a lot. He has 2 songs that are just him, and then he's in a lot of other parts as well. So it's a bigger role in the musical than it is in the cartoon.
I noticed that when the live action came out, he had maybe 1 or 2 songs, and and then you got Flounder.
Oh yes, Flounder. So our music director, Mrs. Hannah Ledgerwood, she created a Flounder costume back in 2020, and we resurrected it. And that Flounder costume is really something like I really like our flounder costume, and I really can't wait for people to see it because it's adorable, number one. And Marley Chase is our flounder. She really brings a lot of fun energy to flounder.
This is her first bigger role.
It is
too.
her first big role too. She's been in some shows with us in the past, but as far as a major role, this is Marley's first one. She does a really nice job.
And that's a big for the boy that's playing Eric. That's a big step to jump into when you're going to new schools.
Oh, for sure, a huge step. And to throw him in with kids who are veterans, like they've had to show him the ropes, and he's really stepped up. It's been good.
Awesome. Sounds like you're having as much fun as the actors.
I do enjoy this. The kids may be like, but Siebold, you look like you're about to just spaz out, but which is true. This is Tech Week, so we're putting all of the pieces of the puzzle together and finding out what really works and what really doesn't work. And it is stressful. It's a really stressful week, but I love it so much. And I just keep reminding myself, just wait till that first performance, because I feel like this is a really bad comparison, but I can't really think of any other way to describe it. It's like an addiction. It's like a little bit of a like a drug. Like when you have when you're on stage and you give a performance your all and you hear that audience laugh or you hear them applaud for you after you know that you have just done your absolute best. It's like the best feeling in the world. And you just keep coming back for more, and you know that it's a lot of hard work, and it probably just gets harder every single time, but in the end it's always worth it.
Yeah, especially it really, like, this sounds rude, but like it really sucks when you go out there and you say something that you think that the audience is gonna find funny and then no one laughs.
Yes.
Or you get out there and you do your best and then like you get a few claps.
Mhm.
And then it's how good the show is really depends on the audience. Like if
Yes,
the audience does not interact and does not applaud and laugh and cheer, it just brings the actor's energy down.
The audience really does play a major role in a live performance.
Absolutely.
It makes such a difference. I think about some of the musicals that they've put on TV where they've done like a live action version of the musical.
Mhm.
And they even the people who made that, when they first started doing those, they didn't have a live audience. And the shows were so flat. If you go back and watch those recordings, they're just not that awesome, at least in my opinion. But the last few that they've made, they've included a live audience, and it makes such a big difference. You can just tell the energy in the performance is different when the audience is playing their part.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
if you're coming to see the show, make
Big
sure you bring
audience.
those clapping hands.
Yes.
because-
And
You need lights to like they used to do on talk shows, applause or
Oh,
laugh or
yeah.
whatever.
Laughter.
I won't be
Yeah.
doing that.
And-
But
and I would say from an audience member perspective,
Yeah.
go more than once. The reason being is every time
Sure, different.
you catch something different and something's, a little bit different. You were talking about the challenges of maybe when the audience doesn't participate like you should. So put both of them on the spot. I know both of you, so I can put you on the spot. So how do you overcome that as an actor in these moments when things are a little bit tentative? How do you pivot on that?
I'd say I get a little disappointed when I don't get the reaction that I'm hoping for, which is bad. But then you just kind of gotta decide that you're so good that they just were wowed and speechless and couldn't move.
That's a definitely Abby point of view.
Well, I mean,
and
there's a lot
sometimes
to that. There's a lot to that
there-
because
there is.
I'll talk to myself about myself. There's times that I get so caught up and I'm like, oh, that was really funny, but I missed it at that point. So that's why I say go more than once, and you get that. But,
Well, and there's been shows that I've directed where sometimes a song or a moment is really dramatic or really intense or really sad, and you may have just sang something and it was gorgeous, but because of the tone of the situation in the show, the audience might not clap. So that's one thing that rehearsal is really important for, is to figure out the tone and what our expectations are in each given moment of the show. Same with the laugh. How many times do I tell you guys to slow down and enunciate? it's such an important part, because if they miss it,
Yeah.
they won't laugh. Or I also tell our kids, and we talk about this a lot, to leave space for the laughter, because as an actor, when you say something funny, you have to pause. You have to give it a beat for the audience to have their laugh, because if they don't get that moment, they'll stop laughing, not because you stopped being funny, but because they don't want to miss the next part.
Yeah.
So rehearsal is so important, and it's little things like that we talk about. It's not just your lines, it's not just memorizing your spots, it's not just your cues, it's every tiny detail of the performance.
Yeah, and especially like she always warns us, people are gonna laugh here, but then sometimes people laugh in places that you don't
That's true,
expect
too.
them to laugh. So you're just saying your lines, and all of a sudden you're kind of caught off guard because what you said, like, you didn't think it was funny, like people around you didn't, but the audience thought it was hilarious, and now they're laughing. So you have to kind of like be prepared to pause and wait for them to stop. I'm just singing over here.
So do you think that that could possibly be from like when people are in costume, and you've talked about some really cool costumes and things like that, and all these creatures and something, they see something that you aren't expecting, that it's different than, is that how stuff like that happens? Or is it just that people have a different sense of humor and you go, oh, I it's so repetitive that you necessarily have lost that
I think it's
idea?
a combination of all of those things, because we do sometimes become numb to the show just a little bit because we've seen it so many times. And when there's a wow moment, I think of one moment where we've got one of our elementary kids coming out and doing something fun with I don't want to give it away, but he comes out and he does something fun in Under the Sea, and I'm just pretty used to it. Like it's adorable, but to me it was like the 465th time I've seen it, so I just don't think about it. But for the audience, it's their first time, and we want them to enjoy it the first time that they see it.
Sure.
So we have to remember that.
I think that also there's some things that, especially since a lot of us are younger, there's stuff that like flies over our head.
Oh yeah.
Especially when like we have Sunday afternoons, we have an older audience usually because it's after church and everything. So a lot of them laugh at different places because of how like their understanding of the jokes that we're saying.
Or they just don't laugh.
Or they just don't laugh.
I always go on Sundays. Thank you, Abby. I appreciate it. No, I'm going every night, but still, I'm always there on Sunday, and so I guess that's what I like. No,
it was.
Well, and we do school performances
citizen.
too. So, like our junior high performance, they laugh at things that we would never ever expect them to
Because
laugh at.
they make everything inappropriate.
Well, or a costume, like you know.
Oh yeah, that costume looks funny. I'm gonna
And
laugh.
so they
and then
laugh.
everyone laughs.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we just have to be really prepared. That's part of being on stage. You just got to stay in character.
Sure.
So you do performances for the school. Tell us a little bit about that.
When I took over the program back in 2011, I don't remember, long time ago. That was something that previous West Washington directors had already started, where they were performing during the school day for the students. And I've just continued that. And that's become one of my most favorite things that we do, because it generates such excitement for the student body. And for a lot of those kids, that's the only dose of live theater that they ever get. They don't ever get to go see a professional show, and it's their only chance to see what live theater really looks like. And even if some of them maybe think like they want to put on a tough guy attitude and be like, oh
yeah,
no, I would never do that. I really think that they all enjoy it. I think they enjoy it so much.
We had some tough guys at the last high school performance who thought they were all that and thought they were too good to sit and watch us. But I mean, it's just being patient and watching theater. Just it changes like the way you look at things. I
It really
guess.
does. It completely there's something about theater. It's
Yeah.
different than anything else. And you really do get swept up and taken away for a little bit. You get to experience other people's perspectives. And I love to watch my students perform, but I also love to watch my students watch it.
That's one of the
awesome.
things that I hate about being in theater at school, honestly, is that we don't get to watch what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we've been in theater all of high school and like most of junior high. Like, we don't get to ever sit down and watch what we just did. So like people are like, "Oh my gosh, that's amazing," and we're like, "Really?"
I wouldn't.
I
It is
wouldn't know.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Now, do you ever, like in sports, like the basketball or football team will meet the day after, the morning after, and watch the game and sit and dissect things? Do you ever?
I think that we do
record.
dissect things. We always record. We this past musical last spring, we recorded Beauty and the Beast, and then we had a cast party later, and we watched the performance. But I feel like as a performer, you're dissecting every performance always.
Sure.
And you rehash bits and pieces of it with your fellow performers just regularly, just consistently.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's also like if you watch yourself perform, like when we do tape it, and like the other day I found the old taping of Willy Wonka, and I went back and I was like looking at myself perform, and I'm like, this is awful. Like, why?
Yeah.
We're always our own worst critic.
Yes,
your own worst
always.
critic, yeah.
But then I look at like Abby. If I watch Abby, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so amazing. And then I go back to like my song. I'm like, oh, why did I do that?
Yeah, I get so embarrassed watching myself.
Yes.
It's so bad.
So you were talking about like, you know, how you dissect and things. So do you guys as cast members, like after a show, go, you know, do you ever just, because you're a safety net for each other, do you ever say, ooh, in this one part I might do this a little bit differently because and you are normally your own worst critic, so but is there something that you ever just talk about and say, I think I may do this just because I don't think this worked? Or do you just try to stay with what you've got ingrained in you? And
I feel like in this show, like because so many people know, oh, it's The Little Mermaid, I love that Disney movie, we are set to an expectation of be like the movie. And
To
so,
a degree.
to a degree,
There,
yeah.
there are things that people expect. And
Yeah.
anytime you do a well-known show, that's part of it.
Yeah, so like I feel like we can't do too many things differently or it will like disappoint the audience.
no, I was meaning about your individual performance. You're like, well, in this one section I feel like I wasn't as funny as I should have been, or I wasn't as that's what I was talking about. Like
I don't think
like
that
critiquing your own performance after a show.
yeah, we definitely critique. Like we talk about where we messed up. Like as soon as
That's
I get
a big
off,
thing.
as soon as I get off stage, I'm like, I'm so mad. I'm so mad at myself every time I mess up, and like I do critique myself so bad. It's
Especially there's this one scene that me and Abby are in together, and Abby always runs 2 lines together.
yeah.
And I have a line in between them. So she runs those 2 lines together, and then I say my line, and then she's like, ah, and then she does the line again. And then she's like, ah, traps. That's what she says.
That's so go ahead.
No, have you learned to like just play through it? Like if you mess up, just
Yeah, for
Just
sure.
go-
Like
go with
I feel like I'm pretty good about when we're doing the shows, not breaking character when I mess up. But definitely during practices, I do break character. I'm not gonna lie. It's real bad.
But she'll look at one of her friends off stage. We'll just make eye contact.
Yeah.
And then she'll lose it. She can't stop laughing.
But I do think that I've gotten a lot better about working through it while I'm on stage. Like I've grown in like improv and like fixing mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely feel like practice. Well, okay, it depends on the person. Like me and Abby, we are very involved in community theater, and sometimes there are people that, they break character so much and in practice, and then it gets to showtime and that's just what they're used to. So they're on stage and then they break character and all of us are just like sitting there.
That's
all
something
still
we
in
talk about
character.
a lot at rehearsal is that muscle memory. I feel like that's something that, coaches will tell their athletes about. You need to do it right every time because we need to build that muscle memory. And it's the same with rehearsal. I'm sure that the kids get really tired of me saying we're going to do it again because they're just exhausted with it. We've already done it 7 times. Why do we need to do it an 8th time? For that muscle memory. And you want to do it right every single time because when we get an audience, when you get nervous, it needs to just flow out of you naturally. So rehearsal's so important and that we are so repetitive. There's one section, we're probably going to run it 3 times tonight because it just has to be timed perfectly. And we're going to get it and it's going to be just right. And we're going to practice it till it just flows out of us like we were born doing it.
Yeah, and I feel like it's very different from practice to performance. Like when you're on stage and you know that there's an audience out there and the character you're playing has just taken over you. So if you were to mess up a line or someone else was, I feel like it's easier than in practice to improv something because you're so like trapped in that character and in the story that it just comes out.
Yeah, I agree. I get a sense of like people paid for this. I can't give them a bad show. I'm a people pleaser. That's just something about me. So I have to make it to where I think that it's worth being paid for.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of that, sorry, I'm gonna be the financial guy here for a second. So this program is amazing. And so what are, other than ticket sales, we know, are you guys going to have any fundraisers during the shows?
We are.
How's that look? And
so every year we have fundraisers we do kind of throughout the year. We sell goat milk soap and we do some other things. But our big major fundraiser and the way that we help pay for these shows, which it costs a lot to do them. We take sponsorships and we have lots of local businesses and individuals and families who just really want to support us and support the arts. And they step up and they're sponsors for us. And we are so thankful to each and every one of them because we really could not do this without them. We also have this amazing parent group. It's headed by Ellie's mom. And they have organized for years now kind of a silent auction raffle that we do the weekend of the show. And they get donations for that. And that helps to offset a lot of our costs. And they take care of all of that. I am so thankful for this because that is something that I really don't have too much of a hand in. And they just take care of it because they want to support our kids and support what we're doing. And it helps so much. These shows are very expensive.
Sure.
Yeah. And I think an important part of that. And Ellie, I'm surprised you didn't give a shout out to your mom, Marianne, because she's listening. I know that.
She is listening.
But I think what's also important too, this is just it's never too late to sponsor for you guys to help. So when you come in, buy 2 tickets, even if there's only one of you, the nights of the shows, right? You guys you'll take sponsorships all the way through, right? I mean,
donations.
if somebody wants
Yes.
to love the
Always.
donate, we love the donation.
That's
So
still going towards us.
It is.
Our production.
And I think that's important to know, and for folks out there, that if you donate and when you're trying to, this program impacts so many people. It goes to the kids, and this is a great thing to do. And a lot of times small schools don't have resources to do things, and West Washington is doing great productions from a small school and help them out. I mean, just do it. It's important because, and another thing that ties that together, you perform for the school, you bring people together, and people get exposed to something. Mr. Nance, this is comes from the sports world, and this is one of the hardest things he's ever done. And you
Mhm.
know, and you just really start appreciating. But some of this stuff is the chance for these kids. This is their life, and something that is a positive thing for them.
Sure.
And we get that as audience members. So I just come, sponsor, give donations, do everything you can. I think that's important. Sorry, I just
No, thank you.
Like,
Excuse
I
me.
mean, if we didn't have the theater program that we have today, nor Abby, I don't want to speak for her, but I think that neither of us would be the person we are today.
For sure.
I wouldn't be the person I am if it wasn't for school theater and community theater and all of the arts programs that I was involved in as a kid. It really shaped who I am. It gave me confidence that I know I wouldn't have had otherwise. And I see that in my kids. And that's why I do what I do, because I want them to have that experience. I want them to grow. I want them to be the best people they can be. And I know that theater helps them.
and work ethic.
Absolutely.
Gives folks a great work ethic.
Work ethic, empathy, the list goes on, the communication skills.
Excuse me.
It's just such an amazing thing, being involved in the arts. And I just love it.
Now, speaking of that, in your future, what have you guys got planned, Abby and Ellie?
I am planning on going to the University of Southern Indiana, and I'm going to major in sonography, which is being an ultrasound tech. Currently, I'm working on figuring out if I can minor in theater, so that I can continue that.
Awesome.
I'm going to the University of the Cumberlands in Kentucky to study criminal justice and forensic science. I am minoring in theater. Actually, yesterday I had to go there because Seabold was a little mad at me because I had to miss.
I'm not mad.
She
at
wasn't
all.
mad.
I'm very
She was just
supportive.
She was disappointed.
I wasn't that disappointed.
Well, I had to go to Cumberland's to audition for the choir, which I got in.
And she
She
did.
did
She did
awesome.
awesome.
I'm happy. I'm not
Yeah,
disappointed.
she was happy. She was just inconvenienced because I wasn't.
I
at
was
practice.
inconvenienced, but I'll get
So
over
was
it.
so was one of our good friends who does our makeup. She was put as a placeholder for me yesterday at practice, and she was not happy. But yeah, I plan a minor in theater. I met with the person who like overheads theater yesterday, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm ready to work with you." Like it, I don't know. It'll just be. It's a fun next step. It's kind of scary because like all of high school, you go through it with your best friends, and you make those close relationships, and now you just have to like start over. I was like, me and Abby, we go through like so much together, and
Well, I'm sure. I mean, with our technology now, you guys will.
yeah,
Still-
for
Yeah,
for
sure.
sure.
But like, I won't see her every day, and like, we're gonna be 3 hours away from each other.
But the life lessons you guys have had together, and the memories and the things, you'll just randomly one day something will be like, oh, I remember when Abby and I did this.
I
Or
know.
You'll be where
I'll see
when
something
Ellie and
like,
I,
oh,
you
that
know,
reminds me of Abby.
and those are the things that you know, a lot of different activities, but again, this program that Kayla has really impacts lifelong things for people, and I think that's very awesome. So
It
Very
really
cool.
does. I think about this week, it's tech week and things are crazy. If you've ever been in theater, you know this is when everything comes together. We've got costumes, we've got lights, we've got sound, we've got mics, we've got every set piece. And sometimes when you get into the thick of it, you realize that some things just aren't working the way that you expected them to. And you have to pivot and you have to come up with something new
Mm-hmm.
quickly. And you have to adjust. And I mean, that happened to us on Monday.
Yeah.
And we've had to make some major adjustments in a very short period of time. And you have to kind of learn to roll with the punches. And while other things can teach you that, theater is really such a safe space to learn that kind of thing. And once you learn it, you'll find yourself using that life skill in everything, not theater related. You'll learn how to pivot and make quick decisions and adjust anytime that's needed.
I remember one of our first plays years ago. You don't have any idea how it's all going to come together, and then it just does.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I guess.
And
that
that's
was what it is.
preparation.
Yeah.
Like it's all that preparation leading up to it.
Yeah, and like sometimes Tech Week, you go through the show every day, and it's just it's awful. Like it actually is really bad. Like it's fun in the end, but it's a lot.
It's a hard week.
So I guess
It's
my question
hard.
of what's your favorite part of Tech Week doesn't apply.
There isn't one, right?
Snacks.
Yes, we are monitors. We eat a lot. That's thanks to the parent group.
Yes,
because
thank
they
you, parent group.
provide
Thank you
a
for the
lot of
snacks.
snacks.
That's awesome.
But like, and then it's just different from Tech Week, and then you open the show. Well, we open the show Friday morning. We do 3 shows in one day, which is kind of crazy.
wow.
It's crazy.
But it's just the nerves that hit you before that show starts, but then you just get going and the adrenaline. It's something different. It's like a drug. Like
It is,
Miss
and
Sibo said.
I feel like that's bad, but
Well,
it's a good
it's-
kind. It's
yes.
a good kind.
It's adrenaline.
Yes.
Caffeine.
Yes. Well, that's
It's like,
not a
it's
good
like
kind
a bag
either.
of
No.
beaver nuggets.
That's what it
There
is.
you go.
I said it's like beaver nuggets.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Yes.
sure.
Those things are nasty. I don't see how she eats
No, Ellie, it's the best snacks. That's my Tech Week snack.
See,
My Tech
that's
Week
the
snack.
Ursula
them. She'll
moment
be up
right
in
there.
up
That
in the
was-
booth, and you'll just see
You're
her
hearing
up
me
there,
crunching.
up there through the megaphone, their pink megaphone that they yell at us with.
Yes,
Yeah,
we do
it's
have a
fun.
pink megaphone that we
You'll
yell
hear
at the kids.
her
through.
eating the beaver nuggets through.
But it's yelling with love.
Oh,
It-
yes.
It is. I tell them that every day before they leave. I love you. Because sometimes we
It's
spend-
always I love you, but
yes. I love you.
That's
but do
But
this
do
better.
this.
Yeah.
It's conditional.
someday
Yes.
you'll understand. You'll
we
totally
do.
understand.
We love Miss Siebold. We love Miss Burks and Miss Ledgerwood. Like we would not be the theater we are today without them. Like
Oh,
the
yes.
way they
Big-
construct us. And
Big shout out to Mrs. Ledgerwood and Mrs. Burks. I couldn't survive without them. I
It's good to
couldn't.
have your tribe, isn't it?
And shout out to Aaron Lucas and Emily Johnson and everyone else who has stepped up to help us because we can't do it without you. Like it's so not a one-man show at all. One-man team, one-man band. It's not that at all. It's a huge team.
Now, not to take away from Little Mermaid, but have you already started to think what you're going to do next?
A little.
Okay, we won't.
A little.
Okay. We'll wait till.
I'm gonna chime in. Well, I don't know anything about what she's thinking, but this year she's losing 9 people.
I am.
Oh, wow.
She's
Okay.
losing a
It's hard.
big
I
chunk.
don't like it.
And the younger kids are gonna have to step up, which they're not used to that because
Yeah.
we've been here. And if something's wrong, oh, we go and fix it. And
But you know, the good thing about that is they've watched you.
yes, exactly.
You guys may not realize who's watching and you're role models to people. So I think that's it. We never want to let them go. You
No.
never want to let them go.
I
'cause-
just want them all to
Yeah.
stay.
but
just
at the
like
same
Kate
time,
Winslet.
they're going to be these ones that go, well, you know, I learned this from Ellie. I learned this from Abby. And that's like a different show, but
Yeah.
circle of life, right?
Yeah.
You know?
It is,
So-
and they're watching and learning and growing, and I see it. I see that's a joy that I have is watching them come from little 4th graders to seniors.
She watched you.
I did like, and I think about some of the ones who graduated last year specifically. I think about them because they were a big group too.
Mhm.
And I used to refer to that group, I just call them the littles. I just call them the littles always. And now they're grown-ups. And who they started as and who they ended as was different. And that is always true as I watch these kids grow. And it's just a joy. It's a joy to see. And it really is full circle because I know that those little ones go, oh, I learned this from Ellie. I learned this from Abby. Remember when Abby used to do this? I'm going to be just like her. And I know that they think that.
Imitation is the greatest form of flattery.
Yeah.
So, and I was pivoting, Ellie, just
Yeah.
because we don't need Miss Siebold crying. on air.
I've never been to the radio and talked about the show during Tech Week. And I did think about that this morning. I was like, how emotional am I going to get? Like, am I going to lose it on the radio this morning? Can't do that.
You're doing good. You're doing good. One other character I wanted to ask about is Scuttle. Who does Scuttle?
We love Avon.
He's another one of our seniors. And Scuttle tap dances. He's got a whole little tap dancing
Oh, wow.
group of seagulls that follow him around. He's got a whole troop. And that's one of my favorite scenes in the whole show is when Ariel finally gets her legs and she's on land for the first time and Scuttle's trying to help her out and figure out what it means to be in the human world because Scuttle knows.
Oh,
And-
yeah.
for sure.
And it is so funny and so good. That's just one of my favorite scenes.
It's just like, it's a nice scene because it opens act 2.
Mhm.
So you come back from intermission after my scene, which
Which is
is
dark
dark,
and scary.
and scary, and I just like stole Ariel's voice, and then you open up and there's Abby sitting on the floor and learning how to tap dance.
Mhm.
Yes.
That's cool. Speaking of that, lights, fog, music. Are you?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's a
fog,
lot
Miss
of
Siegel.
effects in this.
Your
There
nails are
are.
Ariel.
My nails are Ariel. So the
cute.
entire directing staff, we got matching Ariel nails. Sorry.
Sorry.
So lights, fog, there is so much of it in this show. And actually
So much
on
fog.
Monday, we got a little carried away with our fog machine and we set the fire alarm off.
Which is not
And
the first time this has happened.
it's
This
not
has
the
happened
first
in
time.
another show.
In fact, as I was sprinting
Yes.
down the hallway to get the custodians to turn it off and take care of all the things we had to take care of, one of the custodians said, "I knew it wasn't real. I just figured it was you drama club people again." So
Well, what Monday was a day off, right?
no.
Oh, I thought
We had a 2-hour delay.
Yeah, we had a
delay,
delay,
yeah,
but we
delay.
had school.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So we've made some adjustments. We've got everybody
Hold
figured
back
out.
on the
I
fog machine.
mean, yeah, and taking care of making sure that we're not going to set those alarms off and making sure everyone's notified and what to do, and it's a whole thing. Everyone's
the music
involved.
Is the music pre-recorded, or do you have
It is.
some live
It
music?
is. We use the pre-recorded. Maybe one day we'll have some live music, but not today.
Okay.
Especially not a big
Well,
show
yeah,
like
yeah.
this because you need a full
Yeah,
orchestra, and
yeah.
that's just not in the cards for us
I
right
understand,
now.
I understand. Well, I mean, the coordination between light, sound, and the actors on stage. That's a big deal.
It is a big deal. Up in that tech booth, they're making eye contact. They're like, "Are you ready? Everybody go!" Like, and it's very timed, and they have to be locked in because there are so many things that happen on stage that are cues for something tech, and then there are tech cues that for the people on stage. Everyone is working so close together at all times. You have to be just zoned in and paying attention.
And fog cues. I guess you have fog.
Oh
cues.
yes, fog cues, and we've got all to give things a water effect. We have special water lights, and those are not being controlled in the light booth. We've got people backstage who are controlling those, so they're turning those off and on in coordination with the lights from the booth. It's a very tech heavy
Are
show.
we going to see a lot of bubbles? Do we have bubbles?
We have some bubbles.
Okay.
We do have some bubbles. We have some bubbles.
Okay.
Bathtub?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's going to be. I think it's going to be fun to watch.
It will be fun to watch.
We won't
I mean-
know. We don't get to watch.
No, you don't get to watch.
Well,
It'll be fun
And-
to be on the stage, I guess.
It's a hard show technically because sometimes you're underwater and sometimes you're above water.
Mhm.
And sometimes those scenes are right next to each other. And we have had to really think outside the box on how to make the transitions work. When you come see the show, if you've been to any of our shows in the past, you know that we tend to use the entire space. We'll use the gym as much as we can, as much as appropriate. It was really appropriate a lot in this show. We have our big stage, and then our construction class out at school has built a dock for us that is out in the gym. They also built Ariel's grotto, which is out in the gym, and then we have another backdrop that we have out in the gym as well. So the action is really happening all over the place, and so that's been a lot to handle technically.
Oh, yeah, because of the mics and different things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, it seems like each production brings its own set of challenges.
It does, and they're always different, every single one. And you think, oh, this one will be so easy, and then you get into it, and you're like, wait, I didn't think about this.
Had you got enough into it in 2020 to know what was ahead as far as those type of things?
I knew that there were a lot of transitions, but we really tackled those transitions a lot differently this time. I like what we're doing this time better. It moves a little smoother.
Yeah.
So
Oh, there you
that's
go.
good.
You've been in the water this morning.
Sorry, we get new targets in like 5 minutes, and we're scared that
Got locked in.
we're playing a game of Senior Assassin, which is like it's through this app, and you get a target, and you have to try and shoot them with a water gun, like without their goggles on. You trying to get them out,
Okay.
and we get new targets in 4 minutes, and we're scared that one of us are going to get each other, so we just had to put our goggles on.
So describing this for the radio listeners, they both have goggles.
I
on.
thought this was part of the
and
show.
I
or
did
something.
too.
I-
I thought it was part of for Little Mermaid, and come to find out, I was totally wrong.
No, so if you see like people walking around Walmart with goggles on, it's Senior Assassin.
Okay.
There's a whole bunch of schools doing it. It's just
Okay.
a lot of fun.
Right.
They've been wearing goggles everywhere for what, 2 weeks now?
A week.
week.
We
A
started
week?
last
Okay.
Wednesday.
Again, I'm so thankful we didn't have cell phones when we were in school.
Absolutely.
I mean, it would have been cool, but not cool.
No, yeah. 'cause, yeah.
Might
We may
where
not
the-
be where we are today. I'm not
With-
advocating anything, okay?
With great power comes a great responsibility.
That is
Yes,
correct.
yes.
I don't think
Yes.
we had that back then.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Anyway,
So remind us of the show times.
It is Friday at 7:30, Saturday at 7:30, and Sunday at 3.
Doors open 30 minutes prior to.
Yes, and we want to come in at door 17, and all tickets are $10.
good deal.
And you're going to do the fundraising thing there, right?
Yes, bring a little
And
extra cash so you
Each
can
night or each
participate
performance. Okay.
Yeah.
in our fundraising raffle.
Okay.
That goes on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We'll have the final drawing after Sunday's performance.
And bring extra cash also for donations.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Donations.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Bring a friend.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fun time.
There's a cat.
Yes, that's Sissy Baby. She's
Yeah,
she's our radio
She's
station.
the
cat.
radio
She's-
cat. Yeah. So she runs the board sometimes during the day when everybody's taking their mid-afternoon nap. So also too, come more than one time. You'll get to see something and enjoy it. Every performance, you'll catch something different. So absolutely, come see as many times as possible
Yeah.
that you can.
Well, thank you all for being here. This has been a pleasure, and I look forward to seeing this. And Brad, in the last couple of minutes, what's going on? What do we got new going on?
The
at
main
Walmart?
thing, real quick, this Saturday, the Walmart distribution centers logistics side of the business does what's called Walmart Cares, Walmart Heart, and it is similar to Make-A-Wish
Mhm.
type thing. First of all, we're getting ready to kick off pretty soon our Children's Miracle Network Riley Hospital fundraiser. Our community has helped so much with that, but there is a young lady that is a Riley kid, and she is part of this Walmart Cares, Walmart Heart program, and she has family that lives in our community, so they've chosen our store to do a big thing, and she loves Minnie Mouse, and she loves all kinds of things like that, and she is we're there, the trucks are coming bringing her,
No, that's cool.
and she's going to be an honorary truck driver, but she's coming to the store. We're going to do a big celebration. We've got elected officials, we've got Walmart dignitaries, we've got people coming from everywhere, and thank you to Wslm, who is donating some stuff for this young lady. So thank you very much. But we're going to make it a great day to celebrate her. That she's going to be at the store at about 11 o'clock. So we're just, that's a big thing. We want everybody to come out, and this young lady, again, she's a Riley kid, and she's got some issues going on, her whole family. So it's going to be an opportunity for us to be a part of giving back and taking care of people in our
I
community.
heard you mention Minnie Mouse earlier. If we still had one of the girls' Minnie Mouse costumes from when they were little, we would.
I can see you in that. That would
No,
be
no,
good.
I didn't wear it. I
No,
was.
okay.
I mean,
No,
you're
I-
wanting somebody to come and.
Yeah.
I thought you meant
No,
for the
yeah,
little girl.
no. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I think they wore
So-
those till they fell
Yeah.
apart.
Yeah, and I showed Caitlin before we came in. I got a Mickey and Minnie Mouse shirt for the occasion, so we're gonna be festive. But it's
Is
it's a great cause and it's a great thing, and we're just we're privileged to be a part of that. So we're lucky. So that's the main thing coming up for us, and come out and just celebrate and make something positive out of tough situations.
That's
Ellie, I
awesome.
apologize for your view at this
Yeah.
particular point.
Anyway, so yeah, so that's what we got going on.
Okay. Well, thank you all for coming in, Ellie and Abby. It's a pleasure to have met you and had you on the show this morning. Kayla, always come back. Now, I do remember, I think I'm starting to remember, because I think you were here last fall to talk about Beauty and the Beast.
Last spring we did Beauty and the Beast.
Because I think my wife was on a little trip then, and I asked you about Wicked.
Oh, yeah.
And
the
you
movie.
said you had seen
Well,
the play.
that was Alice in Wonderland.
Allison. Okay.
Oh,
was
it was
Alice
in
in
the fall.
Wonderland.
Yeah,
Okay,
Alice
yeah,
in
I've been
Wonderland.
there.
Yeah.
Becky was here.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
was she? Okay.
I think you might have been. I think you were here together.
Okay. But anyway, now that you've seen the movie, how did you think it compared to the?
It was very good. It was very, very good. I'm excited for the second one. I can't wait. Both ladies in the movie did just a phenomenal job. Their voices are just.
Did you know that the other two were going to be in it?
I didn't. I didn't know that they were going to have the
surprise?
little cameo.
I gasped. When
I did too. I was so
Yes.
excited. I had no
I
idea.
saw them, and I went with my boyfriend, and he was like, why'd you have that reaction? And he just like didn't understand, and I'm like, you're just not a theater kid.
You're not
you
a theater
don't
kid. You don't know.
understand
You
the
don't know.
significance and what they just did.
Yeah, it was awesome, and I thought that they worked them in really, really well, very seamlessly, and in a really fun way.
Yeah. I'm anxious to see how this wraps up or leads into the. Or,
There are so many songs in the second half that I just can't wait to hear. I just can't wait.
oh, sorry.
No,
All right, we're gonna get our cat under control
Yeah.
and get out of here. Thank you again. We'll be back tomorrow with more Coffee Club, and thank you all for coming. And everybody come out and support these great kids and see Little Mermaid.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sissy, what are you doing?
She's
She's making friends.
she's doing what cats do.
She loves it. She's
Well, I hope-
purring.